Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have. Hello, friends, and welcome. This is episode 78 of the podcast Weight Loss and Wellness for Real. And today I am going to talk to you about metabolism and really practical strategies. I'm literally just going to go through a list of what we know from the research so far that can really help boost metabolism. So if you are trying to lose weight, we often in this podcast talk all about the thought strategies and how we use our thinking in order to lose weight for good permanently, and why that is so important. Our thoughts creating our feelings, which motor our behaviors so that we can create healthy habits that really get us to our long-term goals and give us that weight loss with ease, even enjoying the process as we go through it. And sometimes I like to throw in typically shorter episodes. I'm not sure how long this one will last because I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants these days on these podcasts. But I like to throw in episodes once in a while that are just super practical so that, you know, if you're looking at the titles of episodes from this podcast, you know, if you're listening or starting from you can often just be able to once in a while, if you just need that little, like, is there just one behavior change I could make that might help me in this? This is going to be one of those episodes where you can hopefully just choose one of the things I talked to you about, implement it where it's not too hard, it's doable, but that can help increase your metabolism, which can help you burn fat quicker, faster, all those things. And so if we want to talk about metabolism, you know, it's really important for life. It's basically a set of processes in our bodies that convert our food into energy that is then hopefully available to run other cellular processes that we have going on in our bodies. So it's important for life, but it can exist on a continuum. So metabolism can be considered unhealthy, which typically means a slow metabolism, and all the way on a continuum to optimally healthy or optimal. So we all have different rates of metabolism. And also individually, we can have different rates at different times in our lives. So at its optimal level, metabolism is humming along beautifully. It is accessing fat and using fat from fat stores when needed. It is burning that fat to give us lots of energy. Our appetite is controlled, and it really creates a sense of well-being. When metabolism is slow or sluggish, we often have difficulty losing weight. We can have heightened appetite, lower energy, weight gain, etc. So, we do know that we want metabolism basically humming along at a rate that is optimal for each of us individually. But again, to the point, everybody is going to have sort of that unique place where their metabolism is really working quite well to burn that fat, especially if you're trying to lose fat. Okay, so I'm going to go through just a list of research-backed ways that we know can boost our metabolism. So the first one is to eat eat plenty of protein at every meal. So eating food can increase your metabolism for a few hours, and this is called the thermic effect of food, TEF. It's caused by the extra calories required to digest, absorb, and process the nutrients in your meal. And protein causes the largest rise in TEF. It increases your metabolic rate by 15 to 30% compared to 5 to 10% for carbs and 0 to 3% for fats. So eating protein has always been shown to help you feel more full and prevent you from overeating. So that's part of the reason probably that we get that from protein is because of that TEF rate, right? The metabolic rate is boosted when we eat protein. And that's part of the reason it may help us feel more full and really, without knowing it, kind of keeps us from overeating. One small study found that people were likely to eat around 441, not 440, 441 fewer calories per day when protein made up 30% of their diet. So eating protein can also reduce the drop in metabolism, often associated with losing fat, right? So often when we're losing weight or losing fat, our metabolic rate slows it down. But eating protein can help reduce that drop in metabolism. And that's because it reduces muscle loss, which is a common side effect of dieting. Really, when we're trying to lose weight, we're really wanting to lose fat. We do, especially, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s listening to this, you do not want to be losing muscle. The older you get, the less muscle you really want to be getting rid of, because we want to hold on to all that muscle we possibly can as we are aging. So eating more protein can boost your metabolism so that you burn more calories per day, and it can also help you eat less. So it's a win-win. Okay, another one, drink more cold water. People who drink water instead of sugary drinks are more successful at losing weight and keeping it off. And this is because sugary drinks contain calories, so replacing them with water automatically reduces your calorie intake. However, drinking water may also temporarily speed up your metabolism. Studies have shown that drinking 17 ounces, that's half a liter of water, increases resting metabolism by 10 to 30% for about an hour. So if you think about that over long term, even once or twice a day, if you're drinking that much water, how over time that really can help create more energy burn, if you will. And also water can help fill you up. So studies show that drinking water a half an hour before you eat can help you eat less at that next meal or snack. All right, another one, do a high intensity workout. High intensity interval training or HIIT training. It involves quick and really intense bursts of activity. It can help you burn more fat by increasing your metabolic rate even after your workout has finished. And this effect is believed to be greater for HIIT type training than for other types of exercise. And what's more, it's also been shown to help you burn fat. One study in overweight young men found that 12 weeks of high intensity exercise reduced fat mass by 4.4 pounds and belly fat by 17%. So really the takeaway here is that, and just a caveat, you do not want to be doing HIIT training, in my belief, and from what I know, every single day. That actually can decrease your metabolism or can really increase appetite as well. So you really want to maybe do HIIT training 2 or 3 times a week based on your already current level of training, but mixing up your exercise routine and adding in 1, 2, 3 high intensity workouts can boost your metabolism and help you burn fat. Okay, another one, lifting heavy things. So muscle is more metabolically active than fat, and building muscle can help increase your metabolism. And this means you're going to burn more calories each day, even at rest. So lifting weights will also help you retain muscle and combat the drop in metabolism that can occur again during weight loss when we're trying to lose fat. So there was one study, 48 overweight women were placed on a diet of 800 calories per day, along with either no exercise, aerobic exercise, or resistance training. By the way, do not put yourself on an 800 calorie a day diet. Okay, this was just done for the research study. If you are eating that low of calories, yes, you will drop weight initially. I promise you. that weight over time will come back on plus some. That is just way too low. You're going to drop your metabolism too quickly, and it's going to slow down, and it's going to be really hard to recover that to where you are going to put on weight. And then not only that, you're going to have to reverse diet to put on even more weight to get your metabolism back in line. So this is just a research study. Anyway, they were put on 800 calories a day, either no exercise, aerobic exercise, or resistance training. After the diet, the women who did the resistance training maintained their muscle mass, metabolism, and strength. The others lost weight, but also lost muscle mass and experienced a decrease in metabolism. So lifting weights is important for building and retaining muscle. Higher amounts of muscle will result in a higher metabolism. So if you are not on a strength building, muscle building plan, this is something you could consider if you can work it into your lifestyle. I wanted to tell you about a company I recently used and that you may be interested in using as well. It is called 5 Strands, 5 the number, and then STRANDS, 5 Strands, and it is a test to learn about food intolerances, environmental intolerances, and it can give you lots of really good information on how your body is currently responding to your diet. So it can identify food or environmental intolerances, and then you can kind of temporarily remove these things from your diet and make lifestyle decisions around that in order to reduce inflammation, to feel a bit better. This isn't about allergy testing. This isn't the same if you were to go get allergy testing through blood. This is simply about a different process they use that help to identify not allergies, but simple intolerances to foods that you currently may be eating and things in your environment. And then once you have that knowledge, the idea is you can go into an elimination diet and take all those things out at once. Versus if any of you have done an elimination diet before, when you're trying to figure out what's working for you, what's not, it may be something like you take out all dairy, you have to wait 4 weeks to see how you respond, then you take out another thing, so it's just this really long process of trying to figure those things out. This is just a really quick, simple, easy way to get that information and eliminate all those things at once. And then the idea is you do slowly add them back in once your body, the inflammation has calmed down, your body's ready to respond to them again. So this isn't about eliminating these foods forever and always. It's simply about taking them out for a time period to really optimize your health, maybe even lose some weight, and then slowly adding them back in. And the test is so easy because you just send in some strands of hair, hence the name of the company, 5 Strands. You just send in some hair, you get results back within 5 to 7 days. The other reason I, when asked, agreed to work with this company was because their customer service was so amazing. Any questions you have, anything like that, they are just friendly, very knowledgeable. I just really, really appreciated this to me was like old school customer service. So they're a great company. And this sort of testing can just give you that idea of, okay, these are the things I'm going to try to cut out. And we'll see, trying to optimize feeling good, all that sort of stuff. And my own personal thing with this is I was noticing that I was having just some cues and feedback going on from my body with some regular things I had been eating where I had never had those negative cues and feedback before. And so I knew something was going on, and that's why I got into taking this test. And what was really interesting is some things came back that I knew would come back. Like I've always known dairy. I do not do well with dairy. I know I don't do well with eggs, things like that. But I really found some of the results fascinating. Like there were certain proteins that I was used to eating every single day that I'm highly, right now, currently in my lifestyle, intolerant to, and other proteins that were just fine. So that helped me adjust to what I'm eating right now. Another thing that was really interesting is I always thought I was really intolerant to red wine, but was fine with all clear alcohol like vodka, all that kind of stuff. And Actually, according to this, all clear alcohol is not good, but I am totally cool with red wine. So things like that were really, really fascinating to me, and also just helped me create sort of this elimination diet plan for about 6 weeks that I'll be doing, and just gave me all the information in one shot. So I highly, highly recommend them if you are looking to optimize your health. It's a quick and easy test to just get more information. I really do hope you give it a try. I just believe more knowledge about our bodies and how they are working is such a key in gaining that optimal health. So if you want to give them a try, you can head over to 5strands.com. Again, it's the number 5 and then STRANDS.com. And when you go to checkout, put in my name, Heather Heinen, HEYNEN, and you're going to get a nice discount. I hope you are finding something useful from these episodes and this podcast. And if so, please share it with someone else in your life you feel it could benefit. This podcast is also now monetized. So if you really feel you are getting a lot from it and want to help keep it going, please go to the episode show notes. You can just scroll down from wherever you're listening. You'll see a description of the episode, and then you will see it says support this podcast, and then there's a link you can click on. You can click on that link, and that's where you can support the podcast. Even the smallest donation, like 99 cents, helps to keep me producing the podcast. And to those of you who have donated, I really, really appreciate the support. I really do appreciate all of you listening and sharing the space with me. Again, just very thankful for all of you. All right, here's another one that almost any of us could work into our current lifestyle, and that is standing up more. So sitting too much is really bad for our health. I'm sure you've heard all about it. So if you are typically sitting most of the day, whether it's through your job or at home or any of those things, you really want to think about just standing up and moving more. So sitting for a long time really, creates less, we're not expending as much energy. But beyond that, it's really bad for our health. So try to stand up regularly, or maybe even consider investing in a stand-up desk. I recently got a little walking treadmill, just to where I can be walking while I'm writing, because I spend lots of time in the morning sitting. I was spending lots of time sitting and writing. And so now I can walk and write. And that's really been a pretty big game changer. So that's one idea. But other ideas would be just every hour setting an alarm on your phone to go off and to remind you to stand up, and just simply doing like 20 air squats, right? Or just go, if you can take a short little walk around the office or wherever your place of work is, anything like that. So just standing up more can really, really help with that metabolism. Another one, drink green tea or oolong tea. So green tea and oolong tea have been shown to increase metabolism by 4 to 5%. So these teas help convert some of the fat stored in your body into free fatty acids. Basically, there's some compounds in that tea that help your body access those fat stores, right? We talk a lot in my other podcast, Flexible Fasting, about how, not only is it about burning the fat, but your body has to access the fat stores. And if your insulin's too high, your body's going to have a hard time actually getting to those fat stores. So, this tea, it helps. It has compounds in it that help the body actually access those fat stores and then turn them, the fat stores, into free fatty acids. So then that can be used for energy. So it could increase fat burning by 10 to 17%. These teas, they're low in calories. They may be good for both weight loss and weight maintenance. However, there are some studies that find these teas do not affect metabolism. Therefore, their effect may be really small or only apply to some people, right? You might be that unique individual who it really does work for, or you might be that unique individual who it does not work for. You can find green tea and oolong tea online. And, so bottom line there, maybe it increases your metabolism, and maybe they can help you lose weight and keep it off. If you enjoy it, it might be something to put into your daily routine. I will just tell you, I tried drinking green tea 15 years ago when some of this stuff was just coming out, and I do not like green tea or oolong tea, so that is not something I'm willing to put into my daily practice, but you might be. Okay, another big one, you guys all know this, but get a good night's sleep. And lack of sleep is linked to a major increase in the risk of obesity, and this may partly be caused by the negative effects of sleep deprivation on metabolism. So lack of sleep has also been linked to increased blood sugar levels and insulin resistance, which are both linked to a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. It's also been shown to boost the hunger hormone ghrelin and decrease the fullness hormone leptin. So if you are trying to lose fat or lose weight, you do not want these. You want these hormones working perfectly, right? You want to feel full when you eat, and you don't want to feel hungry all the time. So this could, the sleep deprivation and how it hits the hormones, it could explain why many people who are sleep deprived feel really hungry and really struggle to lose weight because they constantly are feeling hungry. So lack of sleep can decrease the energy that your body burns, your metabolism, and also could change the way you process sugar and then disrupt your appetite regulating hormones. So setting up a sleep hygiene protocol, and I have a past podcast episode on this. It might be on my flexible fasting podcast, but it would have sleep in the title. But anyway, sleep hygiene protocol and getting your sleep under control is really, really important for fat loss and keeping your metabolism buzzing. Okay, drink coffee. This might be one that you're like, yes, I can do this one. Studies have shown that caffeine in coffee can boost metabolism by 3 to 11%. So like green tea, it can promote fat burning. However, this seems to affect lean people more. So in one study, coffee increased fat burning by 29% for lean women, but only 10% for obese women. I have a guess on that. The study doesn't really get into this, but my guess would be that in obese people, how we talked about the body, because when insulin is high, you cannot access those fat storage hormones, you cannot access fat, the fat stored. The body has a hard time accessing that. So it's not about, it can't access it to burn it. So I'm just guessing that in the study with the obese women, the body has a very hard time accessing those fat stores, and therefore the caffeine in the coffee could not help burn the actual fat like it can in lean women, because in lean women, lower insulin, my guess, again, I'm speculating, so it was much more able to access the fat stores and therefore burn more. Anyway, coffee's effect on metabolism and fat burning may also contribute to successful weight loss and maintenance. So drinking coffee could significantly increase your metabolism and help you lose weight. So if you enjoy coffee, if you're not super sensitive to caffeine, if you can sleep later in the day, it might be worth looking into. I personally am super sensitive to caffeine. I've had the genetic testing done. I've had the food sensitivity done. I've had all the testing done. I definitely am super sensitive to caffeine, but I really enjoy coffee, and I like a little bit of caffeine in the morning. I like that little bit of a buzz. And so how I've had to work this, because I used to drink coffee in the morning and then maybe have a little in the afternoon if I was feeling sluggish. But then what happened is completely wrecked my sleep. So over time, I sort of figured that out. And now I know if I consume one cup of coffee, one really good cup of coffee before 9 a.m., I'm usually fine with sleep. If I have any caffeine after 9 a.m., I'm pretty screwed when it comes to sleeping. So these might be things you need to experiment a little bit with. You do not want to be wrecking your sleep. Sleep needs to come first. Another one, replace cooking fats with coconut oil. So unlike other saturated fats, coconut oil is relatively high in medium chain fats, and medium chain fats can increase your metabolism more than the long chain fats found in foods like butter. So in one study, Researchers found that medium chain fats increased metabolism by 12% compared to long chain fatty acids, which raised it by just 4%. So due to the unique fatty acid profile of coconut oil, this would also be MCT oil. But replacing some of your other cooking fats with coconut oil may have some modest benefits for weight loss. And you can find coconut oil online. So replacing other cooking fats with coconut oil may help boost your metabolism slightly. And finally, you could try intermittent fasting. I have a whole other podcast on this called flexible fasting. So you could try intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating in order to boost metabolism. But with that said, some things to think on. If you and this could be whether you're fasting or any sort of trying to lose weight diet, if you will, in quotation marks, if you chronically restrict calories or fast for a bunch of days on end, your metabolic rate is going to go down and you are going to feel very low energy, but you will still lose weight. You are going to lose weight. But when you start to eat normally again after that fast, your metabolic rate will not go back up, which mentioned earlier, your weight will go up. And this is exactly why calorie restriction does not work for sustained weight loss, for losing weight and keeping it off. It works in the short term, but it will not work in the long term. So you just want to be really purposeful and really consider the energy, the nourishing foods that you're taking in. Intermittent fasting or periodically limiting calories can have different effects on our metabolism. It often does not shift it. So this means that fat loss using intermittent fasting is more likely to stay off for good because you kind of start to incorporate this into your lifestyle. It may help you eat less, which is obviously helpful. So anyway, those are just some things you can think about when you fast for shorter periods of time. So when you're not fasting for days on end, right? When you maybe fast for 12 to 16 hours a day, fat oxidation or fat burning does increase. So body weight decreases and resting metabolic rate increases or stays the same. It doesn't drop. So there are many recent good published research and studies showing this. So if you want to see some of them, just head over to Google Scholar and type in intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating and weight loss or metabolism as keywords, and you're going to see a bunch of the ones that I looked at. An important part of this is thinking about not fasting too much or for too long or without adequate refeeds, or adequate food or energy for your unique you within your eating window. So eat enough during your eating window, not too much to gain weight if your goal is losing fat, and not too little to where you're losing more than, you really do not want to lose more than, I would say, 1 pound a week in order to keep that metabolism going strong so that you can have that really high energy as well as keep the weight off for good. Okay, so I hope you found this a very practical episode, minus the thought work, interesting, and maybe you could grab 1 or 2 ideas from that list and just start to implement something if it feels very doable for you that you feel you can follow through on. Start to implement that daily this week and see how it goes for you. As always, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you being here. And next week, we are going to hop into some deeper topics that really make this particular podcast what it is and really do create the long-term behaviors that are needed to lose the weight permanently and for good. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services.